Welcome to AngularJs with me, Muhammad Maruf Najm. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to validate unique data using AngularJS and PHP. On the local server of my computer, I have created a database called AngularJS Tutorials. Inside this database, there are three tables. One of these three tables is the countries table. I mean a table in which I save names of different countries. Whenever I add a new record to this table, the name of the country must be unique. I mean, before saving data into this table or before inserting a new record into this table, I should see that the country which is going to be inserted into this table should not be duplicate. I go to the application. I have created a project called Data Validation, as you see in the address bar of the browser, and here I have a form consisting of only one text field, which is the country name text field. Using this form, I want to add a new country to the countries table. When I write, for example, the name of a new country like Iran, it tells me that this is duplicate. I mean, this name has already been saved into this table. If I write, for example, Pakistan, it tells me that Pakistan is also duplicate. So, how can I validate unique data using AngularJS and PHP? On the local server of my computer, I have created a folder called Data Validation, which contains the code of the current application. Inside this folder, I have created two folders and some other files. One of these files is the index.php, which forms the view of the application. And inside the server folder, I have created a PHP file called validation.php, using which we can validate the incoming HTTP post request data. Also inside the scripts folder, I have created an AngularJS file, as you see here. Inside the index.php, first of all, I have imported or included two libraries of AngularJS, which are the angular.main.js and angular-messages.js. These two libraries or files are essentially needed for this application to work. Also, I have included the app.js file I have created for this application here. Inside the app.js file, first of all, I have injected the ng-messages dependency. And this ng-messages dependency is from the angular-messages.js. Then I have created a directive called unique data, and I have bound this directive to the text field of the application, as you see here. This is the input field, and this is bound to that directive. Using this directive, when a key is pressed and released inside the text field, a new HTTP post request is sent to the validation.php along with the value of the text field. When the request is sent to the validation.php file, an object of the validation class is created here. And then its duplicate function is called here. When its duplicate function is called, a connection to the database is created. And then a select query is performed over that connection using this line of code. And then the number of rows which have been returned using the query is checked. If it is greater than 0, it means that this value exists inside a table. So true is returned. When the number of rows or num rows is equal to 0, then false is returned to the calling portion of this function. And a function is called here. Before explaining this portion of the code, I go to the index.php file here. Here, I have bound the unique data directive to this input element. And I have used the ng-messages of AngularJS. I have said that when this text field is touched and released, then if there is any error or any message, the message must be displayed to the user. First of all, this input field is required, so the required message is shown if this text field is empty. Else, if this text field is not unique, then this message, I mean this is duplicate, is displayed to the user. If there is no error, then this message should be displayed to the user. When the request is sent using the then function of jQuery, the response which comes from the validation.php is checked. If the response.data is true, then the validity of the control, I mean that text field, is set to false. It means that this field is duplicate or this value is duplicate. Else, if the response.data is not true, I mean if it is false, then the validity of the control is set to true or not false. And this value and this value must be the same. So, in this case, you can validate unique data using AngularJS and PHP.